Hi, I'm Meg Michelson, and welcome for joining. Thank you for joining me. Welcome. I wanted to talk today about something that comes up a lot when I do sessions with people and with my use with essential oils. It's about our inner pleaser, because, we all have that inner pleaser. And I've struggled with it my whole life, or I've been challenged by it, perhaps I should say. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, just for a little bit. So I'm a recovering pleaser. What does that even mean, to be a pleaser? How do we recognize those behaviors and mindfully choose instead to stop reacting and come from a place of empowerment? Time and time again, people that are pleasers have given their power to somebody else, have said yes when they really don't have the time, have dishonored self over and over. But yet the greatest relationship we have is, of course, with our higher power and with ourself. One of the recurring themes that some women and men have is feeling like their voice isn't heard, their opinions don't matter, that they give, and don't get anything back, or don't get enough back, or don't have anyone supporting them. Yet at the end of the day, it's really about how we have subconsciously chosen to give our power away. My self-esteem comes from those people and not from myself when we're in shadow pleaser mode. What you think of me is more important than what I think of me. So we consciously, as pleasers, react from a place of trying to have someone like us or pleasing someone, and not from a place of honoring our own feelings. What would our world look like instead of reactively saying yes, wishing we hadn't, but to consciously making choices for ourselves that don't require validation or approval from anyone else? So what does being a pleaser look like? Not saying how we feel because we don't want to hurt someone else's feelings. We say yes because we don't want to let someone down, or we don't want them angry at us. We don't want to be abandoned at the end of the day. Saying yes and expecting something in return, but not having the courage, for whatever reason, to say what our expectations are, to say when we feel let down or angry. But yet we never said what our expectations were to begin with. We just assumed that they would know, right? Pleasers are resentful. But yet, until we become empowered, we lack the courage in ourselves to speak our needs from a place of gentleness, not holding it all in and blowing up, or not holding it all in and ignoring people, running away. Over time, when we consistently put our own feelings on hold, when we say yes or are afraid to use our voice to explain our choices, or blame others because we're not getting what we need, or living the life we want, or continue giving because we think we're just supposed to be nice. We have been led to believe that having needs is selfish and being giving is giving it all. Yet then we get resentful, angry, depressed, lonely, whatever it is. Instead, we can learn to calmly use our voice, to express our opinions, to share our needs and our wants, not saving it all, bottling it up and exploding with anger, hurting our physical bodies, because it does. Or we end up resentful and have passive-aggressive tendencies. Like, for instance, you're angry at your spouse or your child or your partner. Instead of just sitting down and saying, I'm feeling upset, and this is why. We might slam drawers or doors, but we don't want to communicate well. And that's not just pleasers, but this is a pattern that can be prevalent in pleasers. Not speaking, but being angry. Telling other people that you're angry at somebody instead of telling them. Is it easy to change these behaviors? It takes time and it takes patience with self. Time and patience and compassion and kindness. It takes mindfulness to understand when you're reacting from that place of pleaser or reacting from true generosity, and remembering what our choices are. It's taken me a lifetime to really understand this and work with it. And of course, still we mess up sometimes, and that's okay. That's all part of the growth process for any of us, whatever we are trying to grow into. Because none of us are perfect. We all have stuff, don't we? We can choose to matter, to live in joy of service, giving to others, and service to self as well. So not always putting self last. We can be the same person inside and outside and love all of our parts just as much as we love others. We can learn to balance our time better. So we're actually giving to self, not feeling sorry for self. How do we shift this? Practicing really good self-care, of course. And what does that mean, self-care? Self-care is body, mind, and spirit, addressing all three. Our emotional health, our physical health, our soul health, our mind health. Breathing. Breathing is the best gift. Slow inhales and exhales. I'm just going to have you pause a moment. Close your eyes. And take a nice slow inhale where you pull your shoulders up to your ear with the inhale. And drop them back and down with the exhale. It's so simple and it's so underused. Breathing throughout our day makes a huge difference in how we feel and the choices we make and how we give to self and in how we balance. And then we can pause before we react, pause before we automatically just say yes. And then shoot, I wish I wouldn't have said yes. And then of course, mindfulness with our thoughts. Practicing mindfulness with our friends, with who we choose to have in our life. Mindfulness before we react, which is, of course, including the breathing and the pausing. Journaling our emotions and our thoughts. Journaling is a lovely thing because oftentimes pleasers aren't dealing with their emotions. But journaling does help. Writing those things down. Stepping away, rereading. And of course, exercise. Our bodies need exercise. Our bodies need healthy food and our bodies need exercise because that affects all of us, physical, emotional, mental exercise. Taking time for self, having friend time, having time alone for a bath or a walk or a creative project. Time to get away. All the time, you know, not just once a year, but regularly scheduling time for self and then time with friends, time with your spouse, your partner, time with your children, time with self. And essential oils. I'm going to talk a little about essential oils because they are so supportive to our physical and our emotional health. And when we are trying to really step into self-empowerment, oils are great support. Why do they help self-esteem? Because since before the written word, oils have been used in addressing all aspects of human health. You know, aromatherapy is a very old medicinal tool. There are certified aromatherapists for a reason around the world. Essential oils address physical issues, and they also have a special relationship with our emotional health. Essential oils have been some of my personal biggest support tools, as well as those people that work with me. Daily support. Why? Because they're the concentrated phytocompounds of various plants. Essential oils are the volatile aromatic compounds, and volatile means that they're quickly absorbed, which can bring dramatic and sudden changes. So from purely an energetic perspective, oils vibrate at a high frequency and can shift negative or low vibration frequency like resentment, sadness, depression, anger, just with a smell into a higher vibrational state. You know, think back when you'd smell something cooking in the kitchen and it makes you feel good. Well, essential oils, same thing. They're going right into your limbic system. They shift emotional states quickly, 22 seconds. And really, regular practice, you'll notice a difference. And then you're shifting it into something more positive. You're fostering a healthier, more vibrant emotion, or more calm emotion. As the essential oils are breathed in through the nose, the great compounds are quickly at work from the blood through the capillaries of the nasal cavity, brought right into the lungs. Furthermore, they'll activate the sensory networks of the olfactory system, which can directly stimulate the brain, supports new memories being created, supports shifting too much thinking into creating a memory that's better suited to what you want. A thought to support where you're headed instead of where you've been. And different essential oils can be used to induce a state of serenity, improving energy levels, helping us feel better, more peace, more calm. They support a better sleep and a better relaxed state. They really support every system in our body. So to get the most of our essential oils, consider how they can be applied to support the efforts that we're seeking for building self-esteem. In other words, they're really a great addition to supporting our natural health. So when you're using an essential oil like I do every day, it supports the shifts we need in our cells. It supports changing what we've thought to what we want to think. And of course, it's practicing this over and over again. We create new ways of thought. So there are many, many, many hundreds of essential oils. And the ones that I have found have been successful for me and many people I work with to help foster and support a better self-esteem and allow people to feel brave enough to work through that shadow pleaser. One of the best ones that I love is bergamot. And bergamot is it's from the citrus family. Wonderful smell. According to a book called Emotions and Essential Oils, great book by the way, this is the oil of self-acceptance. It supports individuals in need of self-love and invites us to see life with more optimism. Supports that, you know. Has a cleansing effect. And we really want to use the oils to support the release of those stagnant feelings that are no longer serving our highest good. No, can anybody relate to that? We all have those shadow feelings that creep up, and we don't always need to keep them, do we? So we want to work to release them. And in this way, bergamot is wonderful for those who are feeling down, are feeling possibly used, tired, not valued. Supports those feelings of confidence, optimism, confidence in self. Use it in your body. Use essential oils in your diffuser. Some of them, the vitality oils, you can put in water. So it supports your insides as well. And using the diffuser, if you don't have it with you, and even if you have it with you, if you want the quick burst, put the oil in your hands, inhale. Several times, nice, slow, deep, full inhales and exhales. And like I said earlier, every day. So if you're in that state of, I am so tired of being a pleaser, I'm so tired of feeling resentful and tired, so tired of giving. If you're there, apply the oils every hour throughout the day, and then in your diffuser when you're sleeping. It can be easy to forget, but they can be easy to take along because, you know, they're just a little bottle. Great to carry in your purse, in your pocket. Inhale every hour as you're trying to change a pattern. And I'm going to challenge you, we'll talk about the oils, but 3 weeks, every hour, as often as you remember. So bergamot. Another great one for supporting the confidence and the self-esteem to shift pleaser to empowered pleaser is grapefruit. Grapefruit is so good for so many reasons. It really has a support of self-acceptance, self-respect, appreciation for self and for our physical body. Some of those deep issues that get buried in the body. So we want to support and really accept our body. Because when we do, if there's any changes we want to make, if we want to get stronger, if we want to eat healthier, having that support with the essential oils really does make a difference as long as you're doing this regularly. Every hour, we really want to use them to support that uplifting our mood. Another one, which I don't have it with me, is called Sleek Essence. It's a blend, grapefruit, tangerine, lemon. Really great oil to support feelings of inner beauty. And we want to release the heavy emotions because those are the things that keep us stuck in the past. Allowing ourselves to stay in a heavy emotional state of depression, hopelessness, resentment, anger. We all feel those sometimes, but when we are staying in them, it's really hard to even function daily. So using these supportive oils will help releasing those negative emotions. So then you can work more on bringing yourself into forward movement, feelings of self-worth. Another great one is cassia, and cassia is from the cinnamon family. Really great oil. Young Living just started carrying cassia. It's about courage, authenticity, supporting feelings of releasing shame, courage. So we speak up and use our voice instead of hold it in and feel sad. And no longer hiding or holding back. No, we need courage for that. Cassia is such a supporter of courage. Inhale, put it on your body. Cassia stimulates the brain and it supports opening back up. So you bring those shoulders back, bring the chest up, bring your chin up, and have the courage to use your voice. When we allow ourselves to stand with our shoulders back and our chest out, we breathe better and we automatically have more confidence, better feelings of self-worth. So check your posture. Inhale, check your posture. There's so much shame associated with using our voice when you're a pleaser because we feel selfish. So sometimes we'll just hold it in, sometimes we'll shrink away when we're in shadow. But when you're using something regularly, like cassia, to support courage, to support feelings of self-worth, positive self-worth, it makes a difference. It gives us that support we need to take a little more risks. We all need that. Because remember, courage is not feeling fear. Courage is taking action, even when we feel the fear. Like remember when you were in high school, I was in debate club. And sometimes I was so afraid as a debater. We used to have cards, index cards that we had to create all of our arguments on, and we'd have to carry those around and pull out the right cards. And sometimes I was shaking. I was so scared in our tournaments, but we did it anyway. Would have really helped me to have cassia back then. Another one that's similar to cassia as far as these properties is valor. And I don't have that one with me either to show you, but valor is another great blend to help us feel that little boost of courage that we need to break free of patterns that have been hurtful to us, then have been hurtful to our relationships. Because when we're in pleaser mode, we're not being authentic. we're helping, we're resentful, we're not using our voice. And that really pulls people apart in a relationship. So much built up resentment when we're not using our voice and taking care of ourselves first. That's why they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help another. We have to. We have to breathe. We have to take care of our body. We only have one. Another one I love in this work of self-love and self-confidence and self-honor and self-value is jasmine. Jasmine is a lovely floral scent, and it's really helpful to support self-love, respect, self-respect. I love this oil. You know, when we're doing this work of empowering the pleaser, we really want to nurture ourselves. We want to learn to trust ourselves and feel safe within ourselves. Taking care of ourselves really truly boosts our self-esteem, but always putting our needs last lowers our self-esteem. Jasmine's a great reminder of that. Another one, patchouli. I have that one with me. And patchouli is a great confidence booster, as well as supporting grace, poise, physical strength. On the deepest level, patchouli assists us as individuals to feel those lovely supportive feelings of peace, of being present. I love it because it also helps me feel a little bit more like a goddess. And we all need that. I love patchouli. Patchouli, and one of my friends just said, put patchouli and ylang ylang in your diffuser. Oh my gosh, that's a wonderful blend. So thank you, Jill, for that. Helichrysum is another one. I don't have it with me, but helichrysum is so good to support wound healing. Think about that, emotional wound healing as well. And we want to break those patterns as we're moving out of the weakened pleaser into an empowered giver who doesn't not give. I still give, but I also give to me. I also don't feel guilty because I've worked through the feelings of guilt every time I wanted to take care of myself. I still have that struggle sometimes. However, I understand the balance of it, and I don't have to give in to those feelings of guilt. Another one, forgiveness, and I could go on and on and on. There's just so many. Forgiveness, geranium, both really great. Geranium supports love and trust, and of course, forgiveness. We need to forgive ourselves, because when we start forgiving ourselves, it's easier to forgive other people. And when we change our patterns, it's easier to forgive other people. Usually we just stay angry at somebody because we haven't changed the pattern within. But when we start empowering ourselves, it's much easier than to forgive others, because we no longer feel the need to blame anybody else. Another one, joy. I love joy. And so then I'll move on. There's just so many more, but those are ones that I love and use in my work. So I'm going to go back to what else besides oils. Like I said earlier, practicing mindfulness. Really, mindfulness allows us to recognize negativity, those shadow thoughts. So when we are mindful and not just allowing ourselves to be in monkey mind, just blah, 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 those tapes in our head that can exhaust us and we haven't done a darn thing. But when we are being mindful, when we're practicing meditation, when we're pausing and breathing, we can more easily switch those thoughts. So we don't keep thinking those thoughts that are hurtful. That's silly. You know, it's silly to keep thinking those thoughts that are torturous. We would tell our child not to, or our friend. So we have to be our own best friend. We can't always change what's around us. We can really never change what's around us except our part in that. And once we change the dance changes. So just know, when I start taking myself into account, if I'm in partnership, my partner will have to switch to whatever that means, because I just changed the dance step. They can't do the dance step anymore how it was. So recognizing those negative thoughts, recognizing that shadow self-talk when you don't value yourself. Very important with this work. And of course, like I said earlier, exercise. There have been countless studies about how getting regular exercise boosts self-esteem and leads to positivity. Our mind, our spirit, our emotional health needs exercise of whatever sort, and switch it up. You know, taking the time to push your physical limitations in a healthy way, increasing your physical strength, also boosts your mood. You feel stronger externally. That helps you feel stronger internally. And like I said, switch it up. Challenge yourself in the best way that you know that is safe for your body. So if you're not used to exercising, ask your physician before you do anything that might hurt you. What would be a great routine? Hire a personal trainer, get a workout buddy. Those all help. Also, investing in yourself, in allowing yourself to have calm and relaxation time. Most people, we sacrifice every waking moment to stay busy, 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 because everybody wants us. Well, that's the story of the pleaser, right? In our jobs, in our homes, in our marriage, with our animals. I have a lot of pets. And some people check emails all the way till they fall asleep or first thing in the morning. What about if we wake up and we give ourselves a few minutes? Have the oil next to your bed. Inhale it, relax before you start. Giving yourself breaks throughout the day. Every time you grab that bottle, the email will be there. Really, most times we don't need to act like everything needs to be handled this moment. We get to have a breath and make conscious, mindful choices. And give ourselves time before we fall asleep, before we crawl into bed. Give ourselves a little time to drink a cup of tea, relax, read a book, snuggle with your child or your partner or your dog or your cat, so we don't wake up exhausted and depressed. And let ourselves have time to dream every day. A little daydream is great. We just don't want to hang out there all day because now we have no activity. So it's all about the balance. So proper sleep, and throughout the day, giving relaxation moments. That will actually help you have better night's sleep. And now you're boosting your self-esteem, because when we give to self, our self-esteem goes up. So shutting off our devices, saying no, because now it's me time. And of course, being your own best cheerleader. Pay attention. Give attention to all you have accomplished, who you are, all you've done. Sometimes when I ask my clients, what have you said to yourself that's good today? Sometimes they can't think of one thing. Every day, we need to talk healthfully and kind to ourselves. That improves our self-worth so much. Kind to ourselves. Notice all the great things you do and all the kind things you do. Start to shift it. So you're talking about yourself in a positive way. And then you talk actually more positive to other people. But if we're always busy, we're really not making great connections with ourselves or others. And our accomplishments aren't always monumental. You know, I was happy with my child today. I listened to them. I took my dog for a walk. I had a great conversation at work. I smiled at myself in the mirror. Those are all things to recognize. Those are all things, the more we do that, the more we recognize it, then the more we do more of it. And create a pleaser partner. Hold each other accountable. This is so important. One of your friends, because pleasers always have pleaser friends, one of your friends or your child is also a pleaser. Connect with them. Say, hey, let's be accountability partners in kind ways, but not let each other feel sorry for ourselves. Let's cheerleader and champion each other on. It's so good to build self-esteem, but also it helps us see the patterns. When we're working with someone else and we hear them talk and we want to boost them, it's reminding us what we've been saying. So it really does strengthen our ability to see our own patterns. So one more thing, finding something you love, a hobby, a study, a group of people, a purpose. I know when I'm giving too much, I'm not doing the things that I love. Meditating, yoga, just walks in nature, painting, reading good books, even watching a TV show once in a while. Those are things that we get to have. We get to have those. We get to have a hobby. We get to have a group of people we enjoy. That's part, and a very important part. It's not frivolous, very important part of a healthy self-esteem. Breaking this cycle means making a conscious move toward your dreams. Making a move for yourself can be scary, can be fun, can be exciting, but we don't have to think about the outcome. Just start to make the small changes and try to let go of having to do it perfect or right, because we won't. We're just going to do it a step at a time and be kind to ourselves. We want to be aware of all parts of us. The parts of us that give too much, the parts of us that are angry and resentful, the parts of us that feel selfish because we don't want to give, we just want to have a little me time. And maybe the parts of self that are selfish, because we have that too. All people have that too. So looking at ourselves with the lens of love and kindness and respect, much better in the end. Authenticity, kindness, love, respect, much better. Whenever we want to make a change or learn something new, we just want to put attention and time into it. This is the same with anything. Changing a pattern within. So me trying to heal my inner pleaser takes my effort, takes my mindfulness. It takes a conscious choice. It's like when I learned how to drive a car. I didn't just get in and drive. I had to take lessons. Same with being a pleaser. We take time and a commitment to allowing myself to count, to allowing myself to be so good to me that I feel like I honor and love myself. I trust myself to make better decisions. Just like when we learn a new job, learning how to become an empowered pleaser takes effort. And then the oils, remembering to apply them, inhale them every hour throughout the day. 3 weeks, give yourself a 3-week commitment to become an empowered goddess, an empowered God, male or female, or they, however you feel to you when you're in your empowered state. 3 weeks, we can change that pattern. 3 weeks, essential oil, every day, every hour you use that oil, and just check in with yourself. I'd love to hear back. Repeated use shifts our cell memories. Repeated action of something different that's positive really does change those cell memories and create new, more empowered feelings, new, more empowered memories. So we can step into really feeling like you're worth it. And that is absolutely worth every moment of every day. It's been wonderful, and I'll see you again soon. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, mag@soulspeakhealing.com, or leave your comments here at Facebook or YouTube. Have a great day.